Welcome, Irish fans, to this week's edition of the Swarbrick Joe Schmidt Show. Quite frankly, college football has been dominating the talk in the sports world this week, with the national championship playoff and major bowl pairing set to be announced on Sunday. With that in mind and the fact the Irish just completed an outstanding 10-2 season and will be in one of those major bowls, we thought football should be one of the topics of today's show. So one of today's guests is a young man who has had a terrific senior season, defensive lineman Sheldon Day. And then we'll chat with the executive director of the Notre Dame Monogram Club, Brant Ust. And now to get things started, here are your hosts, Swarbrick and Joe Schmidt.
Thanks, Emmy Jack.
Thank you.
We got a crisis today, man.
Crisis?
No iced tea.
No, I was going to say, where's the iced tea?
This is like I may not make it through the show. You may have to go the distance yourself.
Panera's free advertising is running low right now.
It is, and they may have to shut because the budget's screwed up for the month. I didn't get there today.
Hey, it's okay. We'll find something. Somebody iced tea.
Yeah, watch the power. This won't happen.
Hey, well, at least I tried, right? I mean, at least I tried.
Well, the regular season's behind us. It's hard to believe. Feels like yesterday we were at Culver.
I know.
Looking forward to the season starting, but it's now behind us. It's been a remarkable journey. Thanks to you for your leadership throughout it. Let's start by reflecting on the year as a whole, and then we'll talk about the last chapter. But give me your thoughts as you look back over this senior season.
You know, I think this season has been really one to remember for so many different reasons. I think that the way the locker room kind of gelled this year, and I think Coach Kelly and the staff did a great job of kind of fostering that culture, but also bringing different people in, so that we could continue to learn from people that have built great cultures in maybe other aspects of life, whether that was someone from the military or a great business leader or what have you. But then also, I think that that kind of just created this culture that I think that helped us be successful in all aspects of this football year. So I think that was something that was great. And then really I think we have so many memorable moments just on the field. We played a lot of great games, played some really quality opponents. And to be 4 points away from really what we wanted to accomplish is obviously painful, but at the same time, it's an accomplishment, and we feel blessed to be where we are. But really, I think that the way that the room was formed and the relationships that were formed, going along with a very solid on-field performance, it's been a very fun year. So,
yeah, from my perspective, it's always amazing how different a team with 75% of its personnel back year to year, it always has such a different personality.
Yeah.
I mean, every year, I'm sure each of your years in the program, the personality of the team's been a little bit different. Seemed to be a really conscious effort by you and the other leaders of this team to create that locker room this year.
I think it's a good point, and I think that something we knew, just from being around so long, is that I can kind of look back on those teams that you said, obviously 70% keeps every year, but like I look back to my freshman year and I think, okay, like how was that team? What was the leadership of that team like, and what did they do right? And so I thought about like Harrison Smith, and then after that like Manti Te'o, and then after that like Tyler Eifert and guys like that really, and how they built a team, and so myself and the other leadership, obviously Sheldon's coming on later, Nick Martin and guys like that, we were able to take best practices from Zach Martin and try to bring them into our program, and I think our coaching staff was great about helping us with that, and we were really open with each other about what we liked, what we didn't like, and I think that made for my best experience over the last 5 years, and something I'll never forget. So it's been a blast and something that hopefully I can also build on for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I'm sure. One of the things that we most pride ourselves on is those lessons do carry on. That there's real educational value in the athletic experience itself, not just the other experiences here at Notre Dame. Having made the observation you've made, how do you feel about the future leadership? Do you feel good about what's coming up behind you?
Definitely, and really, you think about the young guys that, and I think the first place my mind goes to is injuries, and then the young guys that stepped up due to injury.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Deshaun Kaiser. Obviously, I think the media has covered him, sufficiently this season, and rightfully so. But one thing that they didn't really talk about was, just the kind of person that I think that Deshaun is, and the leadership qualities that he possesses. And so I'm really excited about where he can go and lead this offense. In the future. Obviously, Malik Zaire still coming back, so we have two guys at perhaps the most critical position that are both instrumental pieces to our future success, and they're both great leaders, passionate guys. So really, I think that you start at the quarterback position with those two guys, and then obviously Brandon Wimbush came in as well. He's still young, but then you look at guys even like we have a defensive line theme today, so like an Isaac Rochelle or an Andrew Trumbetti, and see how they can lead, and the relationships that I built with them, and I see the potential in their careers. So it's really exciting, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out.
The last chapter of this regular season, played at my other alma mater and back in your home state, didn't exactly turn out the way the way we had hoped. But what a great ball game! What a great atmosphere!
Yeah.
And there was so much about the night to love, other than the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I think that game against Stanford, had we won, would have been it would have ranked as one of my all-time favorite memories. And I think it was such a fun day, and we all were playing for each other. We were, no one was holding anything back, and when you have an effort like that, you can almost be at peace with the fact that you gave everything you had, and you put it on the line for the guy next to you. Obviously, we wanted a different outcome. And it still stings a little bit. I won't lie to you, but. It was a great game, and hats off to Stanford for being a great team. But that's the kind of that's the story of football. Any football game, there's a few plays in the game that really decide who wins and loses, and unfortunately we're on the losing end.
Yeah, and I think Coach captured that well post game with the team, where he said, at any point in that game, something different could have happened,
right,
that would have impacted the outcome. So everybody contributes equally to the victory or the defeat. Mm-hmm. Everybody. You can't help but look at the last play or the last two plays or the last three plays, but there's something that happens in the first quarter,
right,
and the second quarter that are equally determinative of the outcome. And I love the way at no time, either in the toughest moments at Clemson and at Palo Alto, or in the best victories, this team ever had any different perspective, right? I mean,
right.
It held together. So the fabric of this team was so strong. It was always taken as a team result.
And I think that's probably my favorite part about this season. I just remember in the locker room after the loss at Stanford, I remember standing there, and obviously everybody's crushed, but no one was sitting there and just feeling sorry for themselves. No one was just looking, not looking at them, only looking at themselves and thinking about, oh, this is so bad for me. Everyone's thoughts were on the guy next to him, and the relationships that they had, and how special that was, and the predominant talk was disappointment in that we wanted to honor that relationship and honor the community that we've built. With a victory, and so that's why we were upset, more so than I'm upset because I didn't play well or something like that. It was more about the team. Even in the hardest moment, it was about the team and not about the individual. And I think that's unique and not something that I've ever seen before.
Yeah, well, and the reward for a special team who did have a special year is that there's still a great bowl game ahead of us. I think the selection committee of the college football playoffs has continued to, I think, recognize the nature of the schedule we played this year and how close we did come to running the table. So tell me a little bit what the next month looks like, how the football program sort of builds a schedule with a bowl game in the wings.
Yeah, so we don't exactly know where we're going to go. We have suspicions about where we might go. So that kind of sets like the preliminary schedule. This week is kind of a weightlifting training week. Get your body back week. And then we start practicing, come on the field again coming up soon. So we're more in the weight room and and workout phase right now. And then as we move forward, I think that there's a regulation on how many practices we can have. I'm pretty sure there's 15 bowl practices you can have or something like that. I know that there's some sort of regulation. You probably know better than I. So we spread them out so we're not practicing every day. In the week leading up to finals and then finals week, and then we break for a few days and then come back to the bowl site, and then we have a normal game week of preparation. So once we have an opponent and a date set, then the schedule becomes finalized, and we know exactly where we'll be on every day. But right now, it's it's a time to rehab, lift, and get your body back right.
Yeah, and the key component to that schedel, and our mega guest Chad is the one who develops that schedule. Is some time for finals. You sort of build a pace during that period so you can prepare for and take finals. And then you do get some time, a little bit of a break for the holidays. And do I understand you're going to spend them in this part of the country?
I am indeed. It's a Midwest white Christmas. So
why are the Schmidts having a Midwest Christmas?
So my sister Catherine and her family, they live in the city of Chicago right now. My brother-in-law Greg, a former Notre Dame baseball player, they live with their 3 kids, and he's a fellow at the Rush University Medical Center. So he's an orthopedic surgeon, and my sister's very pregnant with her, extremely pregnant with her fourth child. So she can't fly in her last trimester. And my family, being from Southern California, figured we come out here and do Christmas in the Midwest. So it's going to be a really different. And I know 2 of my sisters that did not go to Notre Dame are probably not going to be excited about the snow. But we're going to get them up here, and we'll have a great time. And really, I think the thing about the holidays, the most important thing is being around family. It doesn't matter where it is, as long as you're around family. That's what's important.
Absolutely, and God's going to strike me down for this, but it's been a pretty mild winter so far.
It really has.
So
I was going to say, don't say anything.
I shouldn't say anything. Just so your sisters may be okay.
I know.
All right, Joe, let's take a break, and we'll come back with two very entertaining guests.
Can't wait. Let's do it.